I would be exhausted, but I'm kind of just jazzed up about the Giants. We've said this for 2+ years now with Daves as their head coach. They are just a well-coached team. Now, sometimes they're not good enough because the talent's not great. They get blown out like they did against Minnesota or the Cowboys a year ago. But ultimately, this team is well-coached. And calling a game out in Seattle at Lumen Field where everybody's expectation was that they were going to get rolled by a 4-1 team who had just put up 500-plus yards. Geno Smith is leading the league in yards and attempts and completions. The Giants stand no chance. They thoroughly outplayed the Seattle Seahawks.
They kicked their ass
on the road. They kicked the score didn't indicate it. But at halftime, Jason McCourty and Andrew Catalan and I were talking about the feel of the game. We said this game feels like it's 21-0.
It felt that way.
And somehow it was tied.
Yeah.
And that's mostly because of a 101-yard fumble return for a touchdown. Eric Gray do not reach the ball at the goal line. And just some circumstantial things that made the game tied. But they thoroughly dominated this game. And if you're a Giant fan, you're not saying we're world beaters now, but you're saying we have a chance in every game we play in because they are well coached and they're starting to feel it. Right? There's something, I don't know, that's permeating throughout that locker room and that team. You feel it when you talk to Dexter Lawrence. You obviously feel it when you see the emotion that Daniel Jones played with.
Yeah.
And I called him a fullback on the broadcast. Like, dude, what are you doing? You're like taking shots. You're aggressive. It's second and long, and you go pick up 8 yards, just bulling your way forward. I loved how they fought and played in this game and ultimately won it in one of the most unique ways that you possibly could, blocking a kick and taking it back for a touchdown to seal the game. So I was highly encouraged, and a lot of that credit goes to the coaching. This was one of the best coached games Daves has ever had.
If you look at the quadrant of sports insanity, I think the most stunning thing we saw this weekend was that.
Yes.
Was the fact that the New York Giants, without Malik Neighbors, without Devin Singletary, went into a very tough environment. And I completely agree with you. And I consumed this game very differently than Tiki. Tiki was sitting at Lumen's Field. He's watching Giants Seahawks. I literally watched it 9 hours later after I almost got my ass kicked in the city of Philadelphia. But as I watched that game hours after it ended, not knowing the result, by the way, I felt the same way.
Which is impressive, by the way.
Thank you. I don't know how I pulled that off. And here's the impressive part. The Giants did something for the second time this season that shows stones, that shows guts. They took a massive gut punch early in a football game that, let's be honest, Giant fans, even Sean Morass back there was all pumped up. You thought you were dead. Oh, yeah. After the kickoff fumble touchdown a play later in Cleveland, you thought you were dead. When Eric Gray on 4th and goal from the 1, and how about that, Daves? Big balls, day balls. I loved it going for it. When Eric Gray tries to stick that football, stick it in. And it gets swatted away, and Rayshon Jenkins goes 101 yards, and then your broadcast, not your fault, decides to go to commercial and leave us waiting, and then comes back and says, oh, yeah, they told us it's a touchdown.
By the way, that's not our fault.
I didn't say it's yours.
The Giants are on a 10-minute drive.
Yes.
You realize when you watch football, there's business that has to take place.
Yeah, I'm mad at the business.
That is commercials, inventory.
Okay.
It's sold. Okay. And we had 10 minutes of straight football.
The business was me smashing my TV if you played another commercial there.
I'm not mad at you. We're not mad at we're mad at the situation that we were put in that spot. But when Rayshon Jenkins ends up in the end zone and it is said, yep, it's all right, fumble and a touchdown, Giant fans, you thought you were dead. And for the second time this season, like The Undertaker sitting up in the casket, I think what really impressed me about this football team, and remember, they had a 3-and-out right after.
Right.
So they get the ball back. They're down 7-0. They just had this long-ass drive. Now they get the ball again, and they go quick 3-and-out. But the defense responded. Then when they got the ball back again, they marched down the field. Wan'Dale Robinson's in the end zone. And I think from that point on, you're right, Tiki. They were the far better team, but I thought they showed a lot of guts responding to that kind of gut punch.
And again, that's guys stepping up. It's Tyrone Tracy stepping up. It's Darius Slayton who is a good receiver, and he's the longest tenured wide receiver here. Been with Daniel Jones since his rookie season. Who is now forced to be the primary guy, goes for over 100 yards because he's running now the Malik Neighbors routes, the overs and the goes and all those things. And everybody who needed to step up stepped up, and you can't not laud them for it, because there is one thing that I think I'm trying to think if most, if not all of these guys have not experienced the 12th man in Seattle. And we mentioned it a few times on the broadcast. That is truly one of the loudest environments you'll ever see in the NFL.
It's the second loudest environment of the weekend, though, by the way. All right, you were in number 2. I was in number 1. I'll leave it at that. Your life wasn't threatened. Mine was.
Right. So they played there 2 years, but didn't they? Was it the COVID?
No. The COVID year was Colt McCoy went there and won. 2 years ago, the playoff year, they won. Richie James fumbled 2 punts and it screwed their game.
Right, that's right. They lost that game because Richie James couldn't hold on to the punt. But I'm trying to think who played in that game that was on this team.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel's probably the only one. And Slayton. So those guys, they thrived in the environment because they're used to it. But a lot of those young kids, they were just kind of like, yeah, it's fine. We've been in a loud environment. I'm like, nah, you don't know, man.
No, that place is loud.
It's loud. And you know who else? Isaiah Simmons, who blocked the punt, played in Arizona and played there, so he was ready for that moment.
There you go. But it didn't affect him because he's on the defensive side of the ball. But the point is, it's a hostile environment, and the plan to manage it was what I marveled at.
Yeah.
They had plans for every offensive snap, it seemed like. They were succinctly able to get to the alternate play, as opposed to let's try to communicate at the line of scrimmage, which is impossible. And I give him credit for the plan. Dave's out-coached the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, I don't know about you, Tiki. I went through Dable's whole post-game press conference. Did you, Evan?
What was that?
Did you go through Dable's post-game press conference the way I did? I don't know if Tiki did.
No.
I didn't catch Pat Leonard asking him about his job security.
By the way, that's the most ridiculous thing I heard back then. And you don't need to go there. This team is not that. They're not quitting on their coach. Like I saw some stupid report last week. Losing the locker room. What the hell are you talking about?
I think it's quite the opposite right now. I think if you're a Giant fan, you're very excited. You said a few descriptions that actually made me sick. Not because I'm mad about the Giants. I was very happy for you. You talked about being prepared. That was something you said. You talked about how well the quarterback played. That's something you said. And it kills me that on my Sunday morning, in this quadrant of sports insanity, I sat down, again, very uniquely consuming this football game. I did it in my car on my phone 3 hours after it ended because Spence had a 4th birthday party, and I was driving to Philadelphia. And I sat there watching my football team play, the New York Jets. That's number 2 in the quadrant of sports insanity. And here's what I saw. I saw a team that was not prepared to play. And I saw a quarterback, and I started this last week, and I'll say it again. Aaron Rodgers is not good enough right now. Aaron Rodgers is not playing well enough right now. You want to tell me it's because he's old? Fine. You want to tell me because he missed a year? Fine. You want to tell me it's the offensive line's fault, even though he literally has the most time to throw that he's ever had in his career? Whatever excuse you want to make, I will just tell you this. I don't care. Because the last 2 weeks, the New York Jets defense did their part.
Right.
The last 2 weeks, the ball was in the hands of the oh-so-great Hall of Fame quarterback, and he did what with it? So I get there's a lot of things if you're a Jet fan to complain about. Robert Saleh, fair. He's a terrible NFL head coach right now. Fair. They can't run the football. Fair. Alan Lazard, 4 drops in this game. Fair. But the number one issue, number one, even more than the head coach, I want you to hear me when I say it. I'm saying it. The number one issue with the New York Jets as they sit at 2-3 is the quarterback. He's not playing well. He threw 3 interceptions, including an interception that was the freaking difference in this game. Here's the problem. As I sat there, as you sat there, as we watched New York Jets football, admit it. Close your eyes. It could have been Zach Wilson. Tell me when I'm saying anything that's not true. Because they played well enough, this defense, for them to win a football game yesterday, and the quarterback failed. He made dumb decisions, and when he had Garrett Wilson open to erase everything I just talked about, he missed him. Now, I think Aaron knows this. I don't think Aaron Rodgers would ever listen to this and be offended. He'd say, well, that weird, awkward schmuck He's right, because I am right.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not telling you the season's over. I'm not giving up. I'm not tapping out, but I'm angry. I'm angry because this guy needs to be better, and he's not good enough. This defense allowed how many points the last 2 weeks? How many points did they allow last week? 10. How many points did they allow? Yeah, and how many did they allow this week when you take away the pick six by Van Ginkel?
Right.
This is on the offense. And if you agree it's on the offense, then don't tell me about Breece Hall. Don't even tell me about your boy Nate Hackett. It starts and it ends with the quarterback, with high praise and high expectations and high compliments. Come this.
Yeah.
It's on you, bro.
It is, and it's not the same as Zach Wilson. And even though I saw the meme through 5 games of 2023, through 5 games of 2024, it's exactly the same. Same amount of points scored, same record. Probably the same feel, because it doesn't feel like we're moving forward. Both teams in this town are 2-3. Which one feels like they have a chance going forward? It's not the Jets, is my point.
It's not. I think your phrasing I disagree with, but I would say that you're right in terms of who feels better today.
That's
it's not even close.
That's what I mean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Moving forward means because I'm not giving up. As angry as I am, Teak, I'm not saying they suck. Blow it off.
Here's the thing with it. Here's the issue with Aaron Rodgers from yesterday, and I watched this game at 6:30 in the morning.
That's right.
West Coast time.
Me and Tiki consume sports in such amazing ways because we're loyal. That's why.
And so the Van Ginkel interception, I kind of got.
What do you get? What do you get? Explain that to me.
Because it's all mug. Everybody's in the line of scrimmage. It looks like cover 0. There's no safety. It's 4 guys that are lined up over top of the 4 wide receivers. And in that situation, you cannot block enough. You can't block everybody. The ball has to come out of your hands. So it's a decision for Aaron Rodgers. What's the easiest throw I can make? Which one is most likely to be successful out of the 4 guys? It's trips one side and a single wide receiver on the left. Which one is the easiest throw for me? Left is press, probably not a good throw. The safety is covering my tight end. So that's the easiest throw. The problem is that Brian Flores is this like defensive genius this year, and instead of sending the house, he has Andrew Van Ginkel drop out into like a little rat, patrol. Like he just hangs in the middle of the field, and Aaron Rodgers throws it right to him.
Right.
So he was just fooled. We're just not used to seeing Aaron Rodgers get fooled on stuff like that.
Well, how many times has he been fooled during his illustrious Hall of Fame career like that?
Not a ton.
Okay, so that's tough to accept.
Yes, but I get it. The second interception is a horrendous throw.
Horrendous.
The third interception is a horrendous decision.
Yes.
And that's the one that was worse because the safeties are splitting, and he's got his slot. I think it's Lazard who's running a seam. He's open. The throw he threw was not open. And so the last 2 were bad decisions/throws. The first one, you know what? Tip of the cap. You got me. The last 2, and those are the ones that mattered more because they were later in the game. Those are the 2 that worried me as it pertains to Aaron Rodgers making and executing the right decision.
And the last one, here's the crazy part about the last one. So as I'm sitting there driving to the great city of Philadelphia with my dad, my wife, and my son, and we got the Jet game on. We're on DVR. I haven't been spoiled.
Right.
This is amazing. As the Jets give up the field goal to make it a 6-point game, I turn to all of them and say, this is an iconic opportunity for Aaron Rodgers here. This is his Jet moment.
Yeah.
This is his chance to march down the field, erase every negative and every mistake from the first part of this game, erase everything that bothers you about today, and go put 7 on the board and win this football game.
Yeah.
And here's why I hate myself. Again, I hate myself. I thought he would. Despite the brutal interceptions he threw, I thought he would. Despite every negative we've seen going into this, I thought he would. Up until he threw the interception to seal it, I believed in him.
Right.
And he had a chance, despite all those negatives, to erase everything from that disgusting morning, and he failed. Now, here's the good news, Jet fans. The season's not over. They're going to play a game a week from today for first place in the AFC East. We all know full well how quickly things can change. The Giants have shown you that. The Mets have shown you that. So I'm not telling you throw in the towel, it's over. Peyton Manning got off to a 2-3 start with Denver. I know. I get it. But in the moment, this sucks.
Yeah.
And in the moment, it's okay for the first time as a Jet fan. It's okay. I give you permission, not that you need mine, to be upset, angry, and disappointed with the hero we were promised. Because so far, he hasn't been that.
He hasn't. And in the moment where you think he can win the game, he just doesn't make the throw.
Not yet.
And it was a bad throw. The throws have not been good enough. That's what makes you start saying, well, maybe he's just too old. Maybe he just doesn't have it anymore. And so until we see it consistently, which we haven't, until you see it consistently, as a Jet fan, you're just going to be worried about it.
I'm worried.
Yeah, you should be.
Now, the good news is, a week from tonight, he's got a chance to erase all of that.
Of course.
Go beat the Buffalo Bills on a Monday night, and you're in first place in the AFC East. And I know that my tone and every other tone will change. But over the last 2 weeks, here are the facts. Over the last 2 weeks, this defense has played more than well enough for the Jets to win. And their offense, just like every other year, has come up small. The only difference is the quarterback's Aaron Rodgers this year.
Right. And so that makes it feel unacceptable.
Very unacceptable.
It was acceptable when it was Zach Wilson. It was acceptable when it was, Tim Boyle. It was acceptable when it was Chris Streveler. It's not acceptable when it's Aaron Rodgers.
Not at all. Met fans, Yankee fans, we get to you as well coming up. Plus, Met fans, I got news for you that you'll be very excited about. At some point in the next 41 minutes, we are going to give you a chance to be in the building tomorrow, late afternoon, early evening at Citi Field for Game 3 of the National League Division Series. And along with that, not only do you get tickets, you get an invitation. That's right. An Evan and Tiki invitation. Because if you win those tickets, we're going to be here. I'm not going to be at Citi Field tomorrow. You want to know why? Because we're working. We're doing a radio show. And while we're on the air, you are welcome to join us as a stringer from Mets Phillies. You know what a stringer is? It's the person who calls in as the game is going on to say, all right, guys, I'm here at Citi Field. The score is blah, 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 blah. The energy's great. I just kicked a Philly fan. You know, all that. So a chance to win tickets. And we will give you the invitation to then join us throughout the game to give us updates and analysis. Your call's coming up. Jets, Giants. We got a lot to get to with the Mets and the Yankees. The great Joe Beningo will also join us at 4 o'clock. 888-808-1019. We are live from the Town Fair Tire studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Amazon Hub Delivery is partnering with small businesses to help them deliver packages in your communities. Are you a small business and looking for a way to earn some extra income? Well, here is a humongous opportunity for you. Amazon Hub Delivery is partnering with businesses nationally, but right now they are recruiting in Manhattan. Here's how this works. Each day, Amazon will deliver packages to your business. Then you and your staff will deliver those packages to customers in your area when you have time during the day. You get paid for every package you deliver, giving you another source of income. Now, if you're not a small business, but you happen to know someone who owns a small business, you can refer them. Referral partners can earn up to $500 per partner that signs up. This is a great way to earn extra income, but also you deliver a service, some smiles, and maybe even pick up some new customers in your area. To sign up and learn more, go to Amazon.com/hub delivery. That's Amazon.com/HUB delivery.
You have a chance to cap off NL Week 5 with a slate of chances to win on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. New customers can bet $5 and get a $300 in bonus bets if you win a bet on tonight's game. You can build a same-game parlay for tonight's action, however you want to build it, but here are some options. A little hypothetical for you. You can take a Travis Kelce anytime touchdown, Patrick Mahomes over on passing yards, Alvin Kamara over on rushing yards, all up to you, but you could put it together because it really increases your odds on winning. We love the app around here. It's safe and secure, and when you win, you get paid fast. Visit FanDuel.com/Evan. I got paid fast yesterday. You know what I did? I did the loser parlay. You know what the loser parlay was yesterday?
I'm a loser.
Yeah, you can guess it. I bet the Minnesota Vikings money line. Ding, ding. I bet the Phillies money line. Ding, ding. We call that the loser doubleheader parlay.